Okay, here we are again. This time we'll call this drive time theater, I guess. I am going from the house here where we live, or where we used to live, to work. It's the middle of the day. I'm leaving right now because I find it a little easier because I don't have computer access at home right now, and there is computer access at work that I can use. My job has always been kind enough to let me utilize the computers there. I just won't log in until I actually am supposed to be there. So this is the day after I did my actual test. So what we're gonna have here, of course, is there's not much of an update really on what's happened. Sorry, there's a weird car driving in the middle of the road. The only thing that's actually had a chance to happen in the moments since I talked to you last night, or 12 hours ago, and I'm talking to you now, is Mommy called and said that if I moved out of state, we may not be legally separated anymore. The separation agreement may only work inside New York State. So now that's one more thing I need to try and figure out. I don't know how much of this legal back stuff you guys really need to know. Of course, it may be very interesting to you depending on how old you are when you find this. Basically, what we don't know is it legal to be separated and not live in the same states? So I've got to try and find a lawyer who can tell me the answer to that question, really. Because right now we've had no real luck finding that information out online. So that's one thing I'll be doing today when I get to work. Another thing, of course, is I have to deal with a loan issue, and I've got to deal with refinancing this car so that Mommy's name's off the car. Because this vehicle is now just mine, according to the separation agreement. Other things I'm doing today is I need to try and get a discount card for one of my medications for diabetes. Make sure you guys always stay active and always try and stay healthy, because type 2 diabetes is the thing. It's not that bad of a thing, but it can be very bad depending on how soon you catch it. Your best bet is to avoid ever having it at all, and I could have done that if I had been more careful. The warning signs were there and I ignored them. So try not to do that. Listen to your body, listen to your doctors, and stay active. I think that's the best thing anyone can do, is just stay active. I try and be as active every day as I can. Right now I'm not doing the exercising that I really wish I was. We can't seem to get my bicycle fixed, which is very frustrating because I love to bike. And especially if I move into town, I'll be close enough to work that I can just bike to work, and I really would like to do that. I found that a couple of years ago when I worked for the Department of Public Works, biking to and from work was one of the best parts of the job. It allowed me to be completely free of keep my energy footprint low. What that, of course, means is the energy footprint is, of course, how much fossil fuels or electricity and everything else that you use. I don't know if that's a term they still use in your era, but it's a big deal as far as I'm concerned, and I like to keep mine as low as possible. Which is why this half-hour drive that we're doing right now is not something I really like. So it's one good thing about losing the house is I'll be closer to work. So stay active is the word. So I gotta try and get a discount card for my medication. I gotta try and get a discount card for the medication. I need to call I have to call back one of the DMs I interviewed with, the district managers I interviewed with, to get a general manager's position. And I need to to email the other district manager I interviewed with, because she wants some information from me. So Yeah. So I got some chores to do when I get to work. I suggest making lists. I haven't done that really today, and I should have. But I find that if you have a list of things and you can just check them off, you're a lot more likely to get them done. Also, one of the important things about list making is don't try and do too much at once. Because a lot of the times you'll find you fill up your list and it just gets more and more full throughout a week, and you're checking off less and less, so by the end of the week it's insurmountable. Try not to do that to yourself. Be honest with yourself about how much you can actually get done. And put first things first, as they say. That is a cliche statement, but it's a real one. When I was in high school, we had a group of people come in who were, I don't remember what they were called, but they were really good at getting important things done. They were real go-getters, as they say. And one of the things they talked about was that the majority of people, you make a grid, and at the top of the grid you have important versus non-important, and on the side of the grid it is immediate versus immediate versus non-immediate. And so when you have that grid cross, there's important and immediate, and important and not immediate, and then there's non-important and immediate, and non-important and non-immediate. So you got 4 categories, and you try and categorize every single thing you have to do on your lists or in life into one of those places. Well, most people, studies have shown, do the important and the non-important and non-immediate stuff first. Non-important but immediate stuff first, because they don't recognize that it's not important. And what you want to be doing is you want to get to the point in life where all you're pulling out of, the only box in that grid you're pulling out of, is important and non-immediate. Because all immediate issues have already been done. They were done long time before they became immediate. And all non-important issues are just forgotten. You don't need them. They're a waste of your time. So the only box you're pulling from is important but not immediate. And that right there is the secret to getting more done than anyone else ever does. So take that with whatever grain of salt you want to. But I'm trying to get to that point. Mommy was really upset today when she called me because she had to go get you guys from daycare and you were in her office. I guess she was in real trouble from her boss because of that. She's worried about losing her job because you guys were in her office. Me how sad she is most of the time. I hope that doesn't rub off on you guys over the next few years. She just seems to be a very sad person. She's always worried. As I said last night, this has been the worst year of my life. And it's because my marriage fell apart this year. And you guys were lost to me, and I was in the hospital for mental problems, and all that horrible things happened. We lost the house, we're losing the house. We're losing the house, I've lost my marriage, I've lost you guys in my life all the time. I only get to see you a couple hours every week. I don't seem to have much choice other than to move far away just to try and support you. Because that's the reason I'm doing it. I'd rather stay here, but I need to support you. But despite all of that, I still have really good days. You know, there's still some really good times. But every time I see Mommy, she's just so sad. I hope that's just because of how depressing the situation is, and maybe it's just because she sees me. I'm not sure, but because I'd like to think she wasn't sad all the time. I really miss her. Our marriage was bad in many ways. Our marriage still is bad in many ways. We're still married. I don't have any intention of changing that, really. We may have to get divorced if I'm to move out of state, I guess, but we don't know that yet. But our marriage was frustrating and had its ups and downs, and it led to a lot of pain on both sides. But I love her. I still do. I always will, I think. And I miss her. And I just want her to be happy. And it's frustrating because it seems like this whole thing was what she wanted. You know, the separation was what she wanted. But it's not making her happy. So I don't know. Either way, I guess. So, on a lighter note, I can't think of one. On a lighter note, you guys sounded happy when you were in her office playing. I know you like playing in her office, so that's good. At least you guys were happy. I hope you guys weren't too sick. That's usually the reason that she has to pull you out of daycare, so I'm sorry if you're not feeling well. Here's some wonderings. What kind of music are you guys listening to at this point? Now, we're talking 10 years in the future. I wonder what music looks like now. Maybe it's not 10 years. Maybe it's only 5 years. Maybe it's 20 years. I don't know. What does music look like? Music's very important to Daddy. I love music. I love all kinds of music. You know, this is one of those situations where your mommy's not going to be all that helpful, unfortunately, because her musical tastes are pretty one track. She likes some country western. She likes some country. She likes some show tunes, but you never hear her listening to them. She listens to a lot of Disney music with you guys, which is good. Disney's good. But she doesn't branch out. You never really hear her listening to a lot of rock and roll, or a lot of blues, or a lot of metal, or a lot of folk, or bluegrass, or any of those. I love every type of music, from acoustic all the way down to, I don't know, whatever the Z would be. I can't get enough. And I hope there are people in your life who expose you to good music, because it's There's such good stuff out there. I'd play you some right now, but unfortunately I'm planning on uploading this on YouTube, and there are rules against that. So maybe one of these days we'll get together and we'll listen to some good tunes. Movies are the same way. You gotta try and see them all. Film is an art form. It's not just a pastime. It's not just a thing to watch. You know, I find a lot of television, for example, to be just popcorn. And there's a lot of movies like that too. But good film, there's a lot out there that's just good film. And you really should experience it if you can. Because it's really good. And really well worth experiencing. So there is that. The books, same way. I've had a very hard time sitting down and cracking a book recently. I don't know if it's just because I'm just busy nowadays, or if it's just that I haven't taken the time. But I listen to a lot of books on tape. By that, of course, I mean books on MP3s. I don't know if they even call them books on tape anymore. That's back. Pardon me. That, of course, is archaic, back from when, you know, they were actually on cassette tapes, which is a medium you don't even see anymore. So, what you do have now is MP3s or downloads or podcasts or whatever from whatever. I mean, again, you guys are 10 years in the future, so what do you know? You may have forms. There's going to be forms of digital media that I haven't even conceived of yet that they come up with. And however you're getting your media, I hope some of it is in the forms of novels, because they're well worth reading or listening to. Stay current if you can with the news. I have had no real luck with that. It just seems awfully depressing. But it's good to know what's going on in the world. Try and, when you're dealing with news sources, try and use a couple. Because in my experience, the news is one of those things that is very biased. So one guy is saying about something, somebody else may have a completely different way of looking at it. Try and look at all sides of an argument. When you're having an argument, never ever think you're going to change the mind of the person you're arguing with. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from a debate teacher in high school, when she told me, you're there to change the minds of your listeners. You're not there to change the mind of the person you're having the debate with. That saved me a lot of grief over the years. Because in my experience, people have too much on the line when they actually go in for an argument. There's too much pride, too much time spent in their argument to allow themselves to be swayed. So don't even try. You're there to sway your audience, not them. And interestingly enough, the back of their mind is also your audience. You may find that you sway the person you're arguing with later, when they've had time to think about things, when they've had time to consider your argument. But in the heat of the moment, it's not going to happen. It never will. So, let people brood on what you say, and when they come back and apologize later, be gracious. Be gracious. Because it's not their fault, they're human. We all are. You're going to find in your lifetime you do the exact same thing. You're a person. And because of that, you're going to have arguments, you're going to be stupid, make some mistakes, and then you're going to apologize later. And hopefully, the person you're apologizing to is as gracious as you are. So, you want to never, ever, ever blame people for who they are. What other wisdom can I try and impart on this little drive time we're having? try not to get involved with drugs of any type. And I don't mean just whatever is the illegal drugs at the time, but I mean even the legal ones, alcohol, cigarettes, those kind of things, even caffeine in its own way. They get you hooked and bad things happen. Caffeine, I was hooked on soda, or I am hooked on soda in many ways. I definitely am hooked on soda. And it rotted my teeth out. I have some severe dental problems because of it. Alcohol, of course, destroyed your grandmother's life. Nana is a horrible alcoholic, and she's got some real problems because of it. I've seen drugs like heroin and cocaine and even marijuana make people completely destroy people's lives. They say things like marijuana is perfectly safe, and it is. It's not dangerous to your health, and it's not addictive, and all those other things. But the problem with pot, as they euphemistically call it, is that it mellows you out. So sometimes, if you do it to excess, and this is really what it comes down to, don't do anything to excess. But if you do it to excess, then you don't take the time to do other things in life. This goes back to what I was talking about do what's important and immediate or not immediate. Because then, if you spend too much time stoned, you won't have time to do the things that need to be done before they have to be done. So try and stay away from that stuff. Get high on life, as I used to say when I was a teenager. If you just walk around and just experience the world, that's a high all in itself. Walk every day. That can be a high. I find exercise to be fantastic. I need to do a lot more of it. Hopefully, once I get myself more settled into a routine, I will be. So there is all that. Relationships can be hard. I highly suggest you finish school before you attempt them. Now, what I mean by that is not that you can't have a date to the prom or things like that. No, of course. But just don't get serious about a boy or a girl or whatever until you're done with college. I mean, really. Because in those first moments when you're walking out into the world to really experience the world, you don't want to be tied to somebody else. You want to have the options to go anywhere, do anything. And as you get older and you're willing to start settling, and you want to start settling, that's when it's time to start being serious about a relationship. So try and avoid serious relationships. Be casual about relationships until after college, until after you've found a steady job, one that's going to keep you in a spot for a while. Because if you're like a freelance photographer or something, it's going to be hard to hold on a relationship at that point anyway. Just because you're world traveling. So keep relationships casual until after college. That's my suggestion. I wish I had done that myself. Not that I regret mommy or being married to mommy or anything like that, but I wonder where else. And this is one of those statements that mommy has very, very hard time understanding because she's very black and white. I don't regret my life. I lived it the way I lived it, and I'm glad I was in every moment of it. But I sometimes wonder what the other moments could have been. What the other options would have brought. Now, maybe I'm wrong to believe that you can have both, that you can love your life the way it is and the way it turned out, but still wonder how it could have turned out in another way. But I don't think so. I think I'm perfectly capable of being interested in both. potentially right now I have a unique opportunity to experience some of that. This is really the first time I've ever lived on my own. I'm 38 years old now, and I'm living on my own for the first time. But I don't particularly care for it, I've discovered. I don't like the loneliness. Maybe after I'm out of the house and there's so few and all the echoes of things past are gone, maybe things will be better. We'll find out. It's only a few more weeks. Tops. Anyway. So, like I said, be a world traveler. Go out and experience the world. Really. There's so much to see and do. Don't be one of those people who has never gone 100 miles more from away from there where they were born. Please don't be that person. I mean, neither one of you are already, because you've both been to see Disney World already, and that's 1,000 miles from where you were born. But you were little. Get out there and experience it when you're big enough to experience it all. And I'm going to try and help, but again, I don't know how much of your life I can be a part of, as much as I want to be a part of all of it. So. So yeah, we're almost at the end of this drive. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts. I love you guys more than anything. I wish I could be there with you every day. I wish I hadn't screwed up as badly as I had. And I hope you can forgive me for my mistakes, for my own humanity. I hope you can forgive me for going into the hospital when I needed to, because that's where I needed to be. I hope you can forgive me for the court actions against me right now that keep me away from you. I hope you can forgive me for wanting to make something of myself so that you guys can be as comfortable as I can possibly help you to be. I love you. Daddy loves you both very much.